What's good, family, and welcome to Enjoy the Journey. I am your host, Devontae Lamont, and today I have with me Genia Nooks. She is the founder of Industry Scoop and also a talent rep with Gill Talent Agency. And I am excited to dig into her journey and her experience. So today we welcome her on the show. How are you, Genia?
Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. So first off, I love your name, Genia. So can you tell me about where your name came from? That's freaking beautiful.
It's actually Bulgarian.
Really?
Yeah, my mom saw an ice skater on television. She was watching TV, saw an ice skater. She was like, that's what I'm gonna call my daughter.
That is amazing.
It's a Bulgarian name.
I love that. And
He's
so
well born.
well born. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So where's your family from?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Born in Jamaica. I
Wow.
left when I was 1 years old, and I grew up in New York City.
That's amazing.
Brooklyn.
So you grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Brooklyn?
I mean, anybody from New York knows, like, you from Brooklyn, you know,
Right.
you the bomb.com.
I hear that. Like all the time. I was just telling you, like our producer of Enjoy the Journey, Dre, he's from New York. And I
Yeah.
promise you, y'all New Yorkers rep it. Like it's a real
Yeah,
city.
it's like, it's a great place to grow up. You just learn the hustle.
Yeah.
You learn just how to get stuff done.
Uh,
We're no nonsense.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and we can go anywhere in the world and survive.
I love that.
Yeah, and make it happen. It's just how we, that's just where we come from.
Wow. So has that been a part of your DNA, coming from New York? Because just knowing what you're doing in the community, it's like you're a hard worker. Like, do you think that hustle and that grit comes from your upbringing?
100%. It's like, it's the concrete jungle. So out of that concrete, it's like, a rose can blossom. So we make sure we work hard, we get stuff done, we just go after our dreams. And it's from, where I came from. And, from also, your parents and, intimate, scenarios of how you grew up. But the community and your town, your city is also influential in your life.
I love that.
So, yeah.
I love that. And so you're also a mom. I got a chance to
yeah.
see your daughter. She's so beautiful.
Thank you.
So,
I like to bring her places with me so she can see, like, because, in the creative world, sometimes people don't think you really work.
right.
So I like to bring her with me and be like, when I have to speak or do something, she's like, oh, Mom, okay, Mom.
Yes, you need to know mamas out here doing it.
Exactly.
Absolutely are doing it. So Industry Scoop, oh my God. So I recently started following Industry Scoop, and that's how I was introduced to you. So can you tell us all about Industry Scoop? How did it get started? Tell us all about what you guys are doing and what you have coming.
Well, Industry Scoop actually started maybe about 6 years ago, or even longer, because COVID was 5 years ago. So you don't realize, there was life after COVID, before COVID. So it could have even started maybe 8, 9 years ago, and I don't even remember. But it really was just a little idea in my head. I heard on the Breakfast Club, I think it was Lorenz Tate. He was talking about doing monologues on the radio, or he was doing like some kind of play situation on the radio.
Yeah.
It just sparked a seed in my head as far as like an idea. Oh wait, on the radio, you can actually have creative experiences. So that's what, it was just a seed of starting something, doing, with a mic, with this type of forum. But it kind of developed into interviews and kind of like talking to creative people. So originally on Industry Scoop, we used to talk to anybody that did anything in film and TV. Right. Like from crafty, we've had like the top crafty people, to producers, to directors, to makeup, to grip. All of the people that are influential in, anybody on that call sheet, we interviewed them on Industry Scoop because we wanted people to know that there's so many different jobs. You don't have to just be an actor. Woo. You know what I mean? You could be behind the camera, you could be, above the line, below the line, and still make a living and participate in storytelling, participate in movie making, and participate in the creative experience, even though you're not in front of the camera.
Absolutely.
So that's originally what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a place where we just kind of like inform and, tell the public, there's so much, a part of this industry that you don't even know.
Wow.
So we interviewed everybody, and I did it, for a few years. Like every single week, it was live. We interviewed live. We've interviewed so many people, from the Will Packers, top producer, to Taffy Dollar.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God, I love Taffy.
Okay, she was on my podcast. So
that is amazing.
Just talking about, life and just the creative work, because they're in the creative space as well.
Wow. But I love that. Right now, I work in a high school setting in theater.
Okay.
And one of the things that we are exposing to our children who want to further their creative career is that there are so many lanes, because in our theater class, we have kids that come in who like, I don't want to act, I don't want to be on stage, and we still have to find a niche and a lane for them. So then they get involved in tech. They get involved on the sound. They get involved with cameras. They get involved with technical theater, where it is, I love what you said was there are so many ways to be a part of this storytelling experience, because that's what it is. And we all have different gifts, and every gift matters when it comes to the production. So I love that you said that.
Everybody's important. Everybody's a contributor. We've had still photographers on Industry Scoop because they are hired to be a part of this production.
Yes.
Like every single thing you can think of, we've tried to have it so that people know there's so many things you can do. There's so many things you can go to school for. Yeah, we just wanted to educate.
Okay, so with that being said, what was like growing up when you were younger, what is something that you wanted to do? Like example, for me, like I was in middle school, like I'm gonna be a police officer. Hey, ultimately that didn't work out, I became creative.
Yeah.
But did you have any dreams, aspirations younger that you wanted to do?
When I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Wow.
I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. So I've always wanted to be, I don't know why, just watching, the Huxtables, the Cosby Show, and all those, historical classic shows. I just always wanted to be in the creative space, but I did want to be an attorney. I wanted to be an entertainment attorney. I've always said, you could ask my oldest childhood friend, I always wanted to know all the celebrities, but never wanted to be a celebrity. Now, I was like,
I want to get the money. I want to be.
Exactly. And I want to be able to call Denzel. I want him to be in my phone, but I don't want to be Denzel. Like, I don't want to be famous. But I wanted to know all the famous people, which is so crazy because of what I do now. So it's like,
Wow.
but
it all ties in.
No, it just became full circle. But that's, as a kid, I always wanted to be an attorney. But then, high school, then college, I was like, nah.
Cool.
Well, I actually went to college in Jamaica.
Really?
Yes, I moved back to Jamaica. My dad was like, I'll pay for college. And then my mom was like, oh, you're going back to Jamaica. So I went to the University of the West Indies. It's there on like the British system.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
How different is education in Jamaica compared to here?
It's completely different. I mean, the things they're learning in high school in America, they learn in middle school, in elementary. Like, they are way advanced and very smart. Very, very smart. So when I actually went back to Jamaica for college, I had to do like junior college first because I wasn't ready for their actual university.
Wow.
I had to pass some exams, and I was like, this is hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a shift.
So when we get to Gil Talent,
Okay.
So how did you become involved with this? So what does your career look like with being an agent? Like, what does that look like for you? Like, example, like what are some things that you look for in actors when you decide to represent them?
Well, before I even became an agent, I was in casting. So I used to work for, like, shout out to George Pierre. He's one of the hottest casting directors in Southeast. So I worked for him for years. And George is the type of person where he would always include me in meetings. So I would be in producer meetings, and I was just more than his assistant. Then I became his associate. So I always had a love for actors. I always respected them because it was so hard what they were doing. Giving their self, auditioning, and just putting everything out there and just hoping and praying like I get this role, and then all this rejection.
Yeah.
So I had a heart for actors from way before I became an agent.
Wow.
So transitioning after that journey of being, on the casting end, becoming an agent was just a natural transition. It was so easy because I already loved the actors.
Wow.
So now I'm, kind of like petitioning for the actor on this end. Whereas casting, you want the actor to actually book the role, the best actor. But now I have my own set of actors that I'm kind of like petitioning for as an agent. Like I want my actors to book. I want to help you. I want to pitch you and push you. And so, meeting Patty Gill, she's the founder of Gill Talent Group. She started in Chicago. She came to Atlanta. We actually produced a film together, and she was like, "You should, join the agency." And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a natural thing because I already love the actors. So now it's a different type of relationship with the actors now, as opposed to casting. And that's what I had to learn.
But I love what you said, that I had a love for the actors, because it brings a whole nother level when you're representing people that you already have a passion for.
Yeah.
Because any actor or creative knows right now, it is hard to book jobs. It is hard to, going through auditions, being rejected. I've been in those shoes plenty of times. And to see someone who is an advocate for those people, where did that love for independent creatives and the independent culture come from? You said that you're very passionate about them. Where did that love and passion come from?
Well, I was in the corporate America for a while. I actually used to be an academic counselor at a university. I used to, I've done that little real job, 9 to 5-ish for a while. And right after that, I actually started to intern, in the creative space. And I was, discovering the what's going on in Atlanta. I was discovering this creative world in Atlanta. And I actually started to produce. I connected with a group of people who were independent producers, independent creators, filmmakers, and that kind of thing. And I was like, this is my tribe. Wow. This is where I am. This is where I belong, because everybody's just hustling together. I mean, it goes back to that New York mind. It's like we hustling, we getting it. So I love that. It was never about money with the independent community. It's about, we have a project, we love this story, let's all come together and tell this story. And it's like, I love that family vibe, that let's get it. So that's where the love started. So I've always been, our first film, me as a co-producer, went to ABFF.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've always, just got it done and did well. We excelled. So I always loved that the community, the people, the actors, like, I'm an indie at heart. Like,
I love that.
Even if you was to give me a 18 million budget, I'm still like thinking, okay, I want this person, like all my indie people that I work with, like we're coming up. It's like what Issa says, network across.
Yeah.
Because those are the people you in the grind with. I always say, if I could eat Kentucky with you, we could eat lobster together.
Yeah. I love that, because I always say when you're on a plane, it's better to get on the plane when it's on the ground. And so when things show up, we all go up together. And so I love that mindset, because I think even in the world in general, we've lost that sense of community. We've lost that sense of working together and teamwork. But that's where growth happens, when we all come together as a unit. You're also an independent film director. So,
well, I'm a producer.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me about the producing that you've done on independent films? Like, what was the experience like?
Well, our first film, we went to ABFF, so that was awesome. The thing about me is, like, I'm just a get-her-done kind of gal. So I didn't even realize that I was always a producer. Yeah. Like, you don't realize, I'm like, delegating, you do this, you do this. Okay, I could call this person, get this person. Yeah. Like, when I became a producer officially, it was a friend of mine, shout out to Dwayne Boyd, and y'all may know these people that I'm calling out. Y'all know them. They're like awesome. Legends shout in Atlanta. Right? But he saw me just doing all this stuff. He was like, "You're a producer." He's the first person to be like, "You're a producer." I'm like, "Okay." Right. So, I mean, what it's like is just getting stuff done, making those phone calls, developing those relationships, putting out any fires that you need to put out, making decisions, being a problem solver. Yeah. That's what a producer does. You can get it done and you make decisions and it looks good. So I'm not a director, but I know who got the eyes. So I'm like, okay, let me call John Wheatley. You know what I mean? My homeboy. Yeah. Let me call this one. You know what I mean? Christine Swanson directed Black Korea, a film that I produced with Patty Gill. So it's like, it's being able to see who's excelling in their area and get them on it. That's what a producer does. Let's get the best of the best. That either, if we can't afford you, because sometimes I can't afford you, but I have the relationship with you. So it's like, And they're gonna trust me because they already know, okay, if Genia says do it, like I'm doing it. And that takes time to develop those type of, those trusting relationships where I know you don't have no money, but I'm doing it because it's you.
But that says a lot about who you are and the integrity that you place in the community, and it says a lot about the relationships and network that you built. You're a trusted voice in that community.
Yeah.
I have a question because I remember you were talking about some of the talent that you represent.
Yes.
What are some of the common mistakes that you see amongst actors when it comes to maybe looking for someone to represent them or either trying to book a job or anything like that? What are some of the common mistakes that you see from actors?
Especially in Atlanta, a lot of times, talent, they will think this could be a hobby. And they'll say, you'll have an opportunity for them to be like, well, I can't because, I got to go on my job or I can't get off. And it's like, they have all these excuses, or they'll say, oh, I need an agent. Okay, tell me what you've done. And they haven't done anything. So you're not in an acting class?
Wow.
You don't have a headshot? Wow. Like before you talk to me as an agent, you need to come correct.
Yeah. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
It seems like Atlanta where it's almost like Black Hollywood, and it's like if you're looking to further your career, you would think you'd be prepared.
You would think, right? You would think you would do some research.
Right.
And kind of have the basics.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. I love Atlanta. I love the talent here, but there's also a group of people that they're just not ready. And it's like, I call it pre-agent.
Yeah.
I turn that coin a lot because I'm like, no, before you come to me, do some indie films.
Yeah.
Join an acting class.
Absolutely.
Because in the acting class, you're gonna find a writer.
Yep.
You're gonna find a director. You're gonna find a producer. Let's do something together. Right.
I love that.
And then build up some work so then you can go to an agent.
Yes. So when it comes to you, what are some things that you look for in the talent that you represent? Like, what is something that draws you that says, like, yeah, this is the one I want to invest, I want to pour into this individual?
It's their drive. Because if I have a Zoom call with a potential client and first of all, they have their headshots, they have their reel, they have their resume, and then they're like, okay, whatever's going on, I'm about that life. Like if there's an indie project, I want to do it. If they just have the drive, they have the passion, they're not telling me, oh, I can only do guest stars. Like,
wow.
And they don't even have a resume.
Wow.
Like, are you serious?
That's crazy.
You're not, you know what I mean? I don't want to work hard for you because you're already giving me limitations. Right. And it's like, let's try and get this. Let's try and get this work.
Because you can't want it bad enough for someone who doesn't want bad enough for themselves.
I can't. That's draining.
Yeah. Have you ever been in situations like that?
Yes. 100%. I'm like, no, I have to convince you to do this audition.
Right.
What?
That's crazy.
I don't have time for that. After we went through COVID, we went through 2 strikes. Yeah. Hollywood was on fire the other day. It's like, I shouldn't have to convince you to do an audition.
Right.
You should do it because it's scarce.
Yeah.
Auditions are scarce out here. So do it because you're grateful. You want to work. You love the work. I need to see if somebody who's passionate and they love the work, you could feel it. And that gets us excited because it's like, oh my God, we want you to win so bad because you want to win and you want to help yourself. So
what does that look like in the space of when you're collaborating with either production companies or film companies? How does that connection work between the agent, the actor, and the job?
Well, we talk to a lot of people when we're pitching an actor. So we'll talk to the casting director, we're pitching them. But we can think outside the box and we have to, be innovative. So we're pitching showrunners, we're pitching directors, we're pitching, you can even pitch a network, because a lot of our actors, they are filmmakers. A lot of our actors are writers. So a lot of times an actor is multi-hyphenated. Like you are an actor, but you also sing, right?
Yes.
So we have an office in New York. I'm thinking Broadway. Yeah. I'm like, you need to be on Broadway, and you've done stuff. So you know what I mean?
That's a dream of mine.
Right? I'm just saying, if somebody coming to me and they have all of these talents, I'm already thinking about other ways to get them work, not just, the one cast director or the breakdowns. Yeah. I'm thinking, all right, I know this producer that's, working on something. Let me go this way, or let me see what the network needs as far as their slate of films. What type of, who's their audience? Yeah. So my client, who might be a writer, might have some other, some work, some stories, some written things already. So I'm already thinking about that and okay. We just we're dot connectors. Yeah. We're dot connectors.
So how does it work? I know especially in Atlanta, there's a heavy presence in creatives that are doing background work. Does the background work that they do, does that kind of help you with when you're pitching a talent? No,
not at all.
Wow.
That's something that you do, if you want to get some experience, you want to see what it's like to be on set. Because I actually started as a background, extras casting. I started in extras casting. So I respect background. That's something, because sometimes they get the last end of the stick. And I'm like, no, you should make sure my people got their food, got their snacks. No, I'm going to petition for my background. But as an agent, it's like, do that if you want to get a little experience, see what it feels like to be on set. But that's not, we're not going to do that anymore. It can't go on your resume.
Right.
Can't go on your resume if you want to be a principal actor.
Right.
It's not something that I'm going to encourage you to continue to do.
Absolutely.
Get your little feel and your experience as far as like, what's it feel like to be on set? But then that's it. No. Yeah. Especially if it's episodic work. Yeah. Because if you're a background as a nurse, you can't ever now speak because you can't,
that's a big thing, especially in Atlanta that I've been seeing amongst creatives. And so it's good for our audience to get this information, to know that you actually have to put in the work.
No, for sure.
And that's what I'm hearing from this conversation. Like, if you have a dream, a desire, a passion, no one is going to outwork you more than you. And you should never want to give that power away to anyone. How important is ownership to you?
Ownership of your stories and your work. I think it's important. No, for sure. I mean, it just depends. If you're just starting out, because you could take different examples. We look at Sylvester Stallone with Rocky. Yeah. He was, a newcomer. He had a story, and he was like, nobody's getting it, nobody's playing it, and it worked out for him. Cool. I respect it, and I love that, and it's a great story to tell. You also have other situations where it's like, you wrote a story, and it's like somebody wants to buy it. It's like, okay, I could write another thing, It's like Jay-Z say, make another movie. Right? So if you have story after story after story and ideas, and you can write things, and you want to let that one go and, just get a check, that's an option too. So it just depends on what the story is, how close you are to it. Because sometimes people write a script and they want to be the lead actor.
Really?
And it's like, well, if you're not the lead actor, maybe we can get this on this particular network. You know what I mean? Because the network, you probably don't have a name. They probably need a name. So are you willing to let that go? You know what I mean? So some circumstances, you should let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go so we can get it.
So we can get it to where you want it to be.
Exactly. And that gives you leverage so that you can, because if that does well, they're going to be like, what else you got? So, let me see what else. Let me see what else.
Oh my God.
So that could open doors. So it just depends on the situation. Everything is like circumstance by circumstance, case by case.
Great information, especially for all you creatives, you actors, you producers. This is good information, especially for those of you who are aspiring to go forth in this industry. This is so much good information. So, Genia, I have a question for you. Who was one of your biggest inspirations, or it still is one of your biggest inspirations in this field?
I'm going to be a little corny, and I'm going to say my mom. Because it's so crazy. My mom was a PE teacher.
Really?
But she was a PE teacher for special ed in New York, the Board of Education. But what she did, because it's special ed, she did shows. She would do plays. She did The Lion King.
That is dope.
And she did, all these different iconic shows with these, special ed kids. And she did everything out of her pocket. She was wardrobe. She wrote it. She directed it. She produced it. She, like I said, did the makeup. I grew up seeing her because she always took me to a Broadway show. We saw Cats 4 times. We saw Lion King. We saw this. We saw Serafina. Front row. Yes.
Oh my God, I love Serafina.
Yes.
Sorry.
I love it too. Serafina, we was in the front row. Serafina touched her hand. I was like, ah. So my mom inspired me because I didn't realize at the time, but I'm like, you a whole filmmaker. Like, you a whole director.
She was the whole team.
Literally.
She literally was the whole team.
The whole team. And I just grew up with it. And I really didn't realize until later on, 30s, 40s, that, like, my mom really did all that. Like, that's why I am who I am.
Yes.
So when I had that realization later on in life, she became, she was always my inspiration, but I really like, in this particular area, I was like, oh, she's about it. She was like Tyler Perry.
Listen, she was the back in the day Tyler Perry.
Right,
like he couldn't take some notes. I love that. So apparently family is very important to you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance that? Because you're a mom.
Yeah.
You're doing Industry Scoop, Guild Talent Agency.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance all that with still sewing into your family, sewing into your home, and being there for your daughter and your family? How do you?
And I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Oh my
3
God.
kids.
How do you balance that though?
It is hard. It is hard, especially in the beginning when you're building your career and you have to be outside.
Yeah.
I gotta be outside. I got a whole husband. He's like, wait, where you going?
Right.
So it's not easy. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a lot of sacrifice because you want to be at home with the homework with the kids, but you need to be at this event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being on set, this set life is not a joke. That's why I really did like casting. But those guys and gals that are in the office and doing production, that's 12, 14 hours on set. So it just takes time. I had to get to know, my life and see how some things I can't always go somewhere.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I have to sacrifice here. And sometimes when you listen to Shonda Rhimes, she says, sometimes things suffer.
Yeah.
She said that, in interviews. So it's not easy, but you just got to make it work. And sometimes you got to say no over here. And sometimes you got to tell the kids, I'll be right back.
I love that. But it sounds like you've mastered how to be able to do it all gracefully. And that's such an amazing skill. Could you tell us, or tell the audience, if you had one thing to encourage the people who are maybe in this creative space, but maybe are struggling, that are not sure on things may not be working out the way they want to, if you could look at that camera and let them know an encouraging word, what would you say to them?
Really, honestly, you just got to keep going. You really have to keep going. You can't quit, because if you quit, you'll never make it. That's guaranteed. But if you don't quit, you will make it. Guess what? That's guaranteed too. You will, because it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. So if you can wait until whenever God says it's your turn, it's gonna happen. But you can't give up. And it's so cliche and it's so like everybody says that, but it's true.
Wow.
Jay-Z said it. He was like, I'm not smart, I just didn't give up.
Just didn't give up.
That's really the only thing. And we hear it all the time and it sounds like, oh, I've heard that before. But honestly, you just have to keep going. I mean, even behind the camera, we get frustrated. And if I see my client and I know he or she is like amazing talent, I want them to book the role too.
Right.
And when they don't, it hurts all of us.
Yeah.
But we can't give up.
We can't give
up. You just gotta go, you gotta do an audition again. You gotta go over here, you gotta try again, you gotta, you know what I mean?
Wow.
We can't give up. I can't give up. I can't give up because I wouldn't be me without this creative space. This is really me. Like,
It's you.
Being here is giving me life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talking.
Yeah.
This is what motivates me. This is what gets me excited. When I get on set, I'm excited to be there. Like, that is gas in my tank.
Yes.
So if you don't have that feeling, then it's really not for you. If you can quit, then quit. Please.
Then quit. Because I promise you, somebody lined up at the door.
Right, and it's really not for you, because the people that can't quit, they really physically can't quit. This gives them life. Reading a script gives them life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Singing a song, I bet, gives you life.
Life. Oh my God. When I'm on a set, when I'm on that stage, that's when I become who I am.
That's when you become who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
I believe that.
Listen, you stirring me up, just this conversation. And I want to say thank you for being here, because this was so encouraging for me.
Oh, I love that.
Being a creative, and that's why I'm very vulnerable on this platform. As a creative, it is hard. As an actor, as a singer, and this is what the word that we need, the push and the gas that we need to keep going, even when it's hard, even when we don't know. We can't stop. Don't give up.
No, please don't.
And so I thank you for sharing your stories, sharing your career with our audience, because I believe that's going to help so many people.
Oh, Thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Thank you so much
This
for
is
being
so
here. Oh my
fun.
God. We have had Genia Nooks here, and this has been such an amazing experience. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Enjoy the Journey. Love you.